Hi, and welcome back to Dummy Variables and this Python beginner series. My name is Jakob, this is my software developer friend Nick, and today we're going to write our first script. Quick disclaimer, like some of you may have noticed last episode, I seemed a bit more proficient than I should be as a beginner. Actually, I do have some programming experience, so this little series is more of a refresher for me, which doesn't mean that you, as a beginner, can't learn something from that, because we're going to go through all the basics step by step. So let's start. Last time we installed Python, so Nick, now we're ready to go, right?
Yeah, well, we are ready to write Python code, but there's one more piece of software that I would like us to install, and that's BSCode. So that's going to be a program that's going to help us write scripts. So scripts are going to be collections of instructions. So before we were just sending one at a time, and now we're going to write a whole bunch and then run them all at once. So why don't you get started? Just obviously, you know how to do this. Download BSCode. You've done it already.
Right.
But for people who haven't, just Google download BSCode.
Yeah, let me Google that for you. As Nick has said, we already done this beforehand. What you do is you go into Google and click the first link here to download Visual Studio Code. Depending on your operating system, you choose which one you want right there and follow the usual install instructions, basically.
Yeah, it's incredibly easy. So once you've got that program open, we're also going to be installing an extension. So that's maybe the first thing that's a little bit difficult. So you know where the button is already on the left-hand side there.
Right.
So this is it. This is Visual Studio Code. This is what it looks like. Exactly. And here we can search for extensions. So we're going to be installing the Python extension. You've already got that installed. It's the first one that comes up. It looks like this. Exactly. And there's a little, you can see where for you it says uninstall. Mm-hmm. If you haven't got it already, it'll say install. And you may need to shut VS Code and open it again.
Right, but nothing out of the ordinary. And as you can see here with me, it is already enabled.
Perfect. So exactly, if you click there, this is where we can make new files. So we're going to create a file, and it's going to be a script file. And so you can call it whatever you like, but just make sure it ends in .py, and that's the extension, the ending of the file name for Python code.
All right.
Excellent. So you can write Python code in here, and it's just like running it in the terminal, except it doesn't run yet. It only runs when you tell it to. So
the run button is up here.
Yeah, that's where it is. So what happens when you run that? You can see a lot of stuff comes out there. That's just file names and documents. There's no actual output. So there is one difference between running scripts and running stuff directly in the Python program, and that is you have to explicitly tell it when you want it to display something. So it's not going to display the answer to 10 times 10 unless you do what, Jacob?
If you use the print command, unless you use the print command, of course. The print command basically tells Python to display anything you put into the brackets of this command. So the basic command looks like this. And display that in the terminal.
Perfect. So I think you'll get an error if you run that because there's nothing in the print command on the bottom. Maybe not. Let's see what happens. It just prints nothing. Perfect.
Well, it printed the first line, right?
Yeah.
But the fourth line.
Exactly. And the empty one prints nothing. Perfect. So you can write a bunch of these if you write a few different print commands. You can print, obviously, numbers and maths, what we were doing before. But if you want to write words, you need to make sure that you use inverted commas. Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect. So that's how you tell Python that this is just something that I want to print out. This is just going to be just some word.
Yeah, let's see what it returns. So if we press the run button, we see it gives out the answers to the calculations we put in, and then it's just printing out the things we put into the inverted commas.
Exactly. So what's the point of this? The point is like we could have just written all of this in the Python program directly, one line at a time. But like I said before, it's just going to evaluate every single line one after the other. So if we just want to make one change at the very top, if we want to change that very first line, for example, we can just do that. And then without typing the other ones in again, or without having to change them at all, we can just make, it'll still work fine. So if you run that, we'll see, instead of 100, 400, etc., 300, 400, and the rest is still all there exactly as we want it.
Great.
Perfect. So it just, all it does, all the script is, it just looks at the top line, the second line, the third line, it looks in order, it runs all these lines, but it only does it all at once you click run.
That's perfect. I'm a very lazy guy, so I like the idea of not having to type out everything again in the console. Just like change it easily here.
What do you feel like you've learned this time, Jakob?
I learned how to set up VS Code and install the Python extension, basically. And then we talked about scripts and how scripts can save us time, basically, and help us manage multiple Python instructions at once.
Exactly, that's perfect. So next time we're going to be looking at variables, and we'll see you guys there.
Until then. So again, a quick reminder for everyone out there who still has questions on what we did today. You can join us on Discord and ask your question there. We're building a little community there, so we can see you there.
That's all from us. We've been dummies and variable.
We've been dummy and variables.